So let's talk about Amazon Personalize. So it is a AWS service which is used to generate recommendations and personalizations. Okay. So how it works is you have to provide it with existing data and then it will generate recommendations based on that. So what kind of data we need to provide? So we will have to create a dataset group and what all is there in the dataset group. The most important thing for a dataset group is the interaction data. So we are going to create some recommendations. So what kind of recommendations? Let's say there is a shopping website. So there are multiple products on the website and there are multiple users on the website. So we have to, let's say, create recommendations for a user, right? So we need to know the history of that user, like what all this user has purchased in the past or what all products it has liked in the past or maybe just clicked on some of the products, right? So that is the interaction data. So user and product, there has to be interaction in between. It can be like just click, it can be like adding to shopping list, it can be like purchase, it can be even like returns. Okay. So based on this data history, we will do the recommendations. Okay. So for the dataset group, this interaction data is very important, and this is the major pillar of the creating recommendations. Okay. Other than that, we will be having item data as well. So in this, there can be like details of item. It can be price, category, brand, or any other thing you can think about the product. Any detail you can have it there. Okay. So this is a optional data. Okay. Like for the personalized to work, the interaction data is mandatory, but other than that, there are two other datas which you can feed for a better recommendation, but those are not mandatory. So the user data, which will be having like user age, user gender, user location, and any other thing about the user, maybe like uh, his other preferences, like what all can impact how we can categorize user, right? Like let's say personalize is like going through the data and it tries to see, it feels like this age group of the users are purchasing more of this product. Okay. So based on that, it can create recommendation. Okay. Or not exactly a product, but this category of products is purchased more by this gender of users. Right. So these all kind of relations it can make. And based on that, it will create the recommendations. Okay. So we need to remember this. Like these three are the parts of the dataset group, and interaction data is mandatory. This is a very important concept for the exam as well. You will have this question like there would be case a scenario like this is the case, and here which of the data is mandatory and which is not mandatory, or which all data sets has to be selected, right, for setting up personalized. Now it supports both real time and batch recommendations. Okay. Real time recommendation is like, let's say in a website, you have to set up recommendations. So for that, you would need a real time recommendation. Like the user is logged in. Now I want to recommend it some products, right? So that's a real time recommendation. And this data set which you are going to link your personalized to is not just a static data. It would be attached to a database. Okay. So it's not like you just upload a static history of these user interaction and user and item details. You will be linking it to the actual database of, let's say, your website or your application, where these data are stored, so that as soon as there is a change, as soon as the user clicks on a new product, that will be coming in the recommendation result, and that's the actual real time, right? We don't just want the historical data for the base of our recommendation. We want the real time data to be the base of our recommendation. Okay. Then there is this batch recommendation option also. So the use case for batch recommendation you can think of is like, let's say, your company has to send emails to everyone, every of the users, let's say in the morning every day, right? And at that time it is going to send some recommendations. Okay. So for that you can set up batch jobs in Personalize. So for each user it will generate some recommendation, and it will send the so it will be a lot of users, right? So it will be running those batch jobs, creating the recommendation, and then sending it to them. So let's see about it. We are not going to do a proper hands-on on it, but still we can see how it works. So you have the personalize in here. If you can see, uh, you have to create dataset group in here. So here you will provide your dataset, whatever it is, and then you can tell it like what kind of enterprise or a company you are having for which you are going to have this recommendation. It can be a e-commerce website, like some shopping website is there, or some, let's say, novel website is there. Okay. Or it can be a video on demand for something like YouTube, Instagram kind of things. Okay. Or a custom as well. So using this, you will create your data set here, and once your data set is created, you would be ready to create the recommendations. So that's all we need to see for the hands-on. We are not going to go into detail for this. Now, once your data is there, so you can have, you would need the recommendations, right? So for recommendations we have some logics built in with the Personalize. Okay. So those logics are called recipes in here. So recipes basically are like use cases for recommendation. You can have different kind of recommendations, right? Like you would want a recommendation for a user, all the recommendation showing for a user, or maybe you have already a list, and that list you want to sort it out for the user. Okay. Let's say some user is going on your website and searching for a product. Okay. So there would be multiple products coming up with the keyword which is searched for. So how to sort it out? So that also can be one of the case. Or you have to recommend users for like the most popular product as of now, right? So those are the use cases, and that use case we call as recipe. So the first recipe you'll see here is the user personalization. So this is simply like you will be providing a user, and the personalized will provide you with the recommended items for this users. Next is the personalized ranking. So here you will be providing a user, and then you will be providing a list of products, and it will be ranked those products on how to list it for the user, like which one should be coming at the top and which one should be at the bottom. Similarly, there is one more recipe, which is the related items. So in this, you will be just providing it with a item, and it will provide the other related items with it. So we can relate these things, right? In our when our shopping experience, we have seen such thing. When we open a product, we see related items are shown from there, right? So these are the concepts being used at the back end. Now there is another thing is like popular items. So this is recommending you the trending items. So one thing is about Personalize is it is used as a backend for your Amazon.com or .in. So That's a major use case we can say that is about personalized. So if you are using Amazon.com, the recommendations you are showing there for the products or like listing of the products, whatever you can see over there is based on personalized. AWS personalizes there in the backend. Now there is one more concept in here, which is the cold start. So let's say we have a new user log in into our system and we want to recommend them some products. So we will not be having any user interaction data for this user, right? Because it's a new user. It doesn't have clicked on any product yet. It doesn't have any purchase history. So this is a case of cold start. So in this case also Amazon Personalized will be able to recommend products. So it has its own logic for such kind of cases. Also, there can be a new product in the market, right? So if a new product is listed on, let's say, your website and you have to recommend it, so the same case, there would not be any interaction data for this product since this is new. No one has purchased it yet. No one might have clicked on it, clicked on it yet. So, but still, we want to recommend it. So this is the case of cold start. Okay. So yeah, that's all about Amazon Personalize.